Coming up on Look Today, who's in, who's out? We have the results from local elections all across the Tri-North counties. Plus, our cameras are at Saratoga High School for National Healthy Eating Day. And Saratoga Springs Mayor-elect Joanne Yepsen is here to talk about being voted in for a second term. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson. Well, we've got a packed show tonight with a lot of election coverage and two great interviews with Dr. Paul Arciero and Mayor Joanne Yepsen. So, let's take a look at what's making news today in Saratoga, Warren, and Washington counties. Well, in our lead story, the dust settled on most of the local election races last night. However, there's still a couple that are too close to call. In Saratoga, it was a clean sweep for all 5 incumbents on the city council. The Democrats were celebrating at the Inn at Saratoga. A large crowd gathered to listen to Mayor Joanne Yepsen declare victory, along with Michelle Madigan and Chris Mathieson. Now, after her speech, we spoke with Mayor Yepsen about being reelected.
It's great. You know, we're feeling very happy that we're going to have another 2 years to serve this wonderful city. This is such a great city, and we have so many partners with the constituencies and all the groups that we represent. So I'm very eager to get back to work and keep the momentum going that we started.
Now, it was also a good night for incumbents in Warren County. Sheriff Bud York easily defeated his opponent and former sheriff Larry Cleveland. Now, we spoke with York about his first priority for his third term.
We're working on a video conferencing where young kids and their family members can visit their loved ones in the jail. If they don't want to go to the jail, they can do it through a video conference. So that's something we're working on right now.
Now, the Warren County Queensbury Supervisor at Large race is still somewhat up in the air at this time. Now, of the 4 positions, incumbents Doug Beatty and Rachel Sieber were able to claim victory last night. Now, we spoke with Beatty about what he hopes to accomplish in his second term.
I've been all about openness, transparency, and making the good old boy system of, few people controlling all the shots go away. So I'm going to continue with that, fight for the taxpayers, make sure we don't have these wasteful spending projects go through.
Now, we also caught up with Rachel Sieber, who shared her thoughts on what the new makeup of the board could look like.
I think we're going to see a lot more with transparency, maybe a different meeting schedule, and certainly that idea about restructuring is out there, and how different federal lawsuits that are being filed throughout the state in terms of our legislative body will affect Warren County. Congratulations
to Rachel and to Doug and to Bud. Now, for the other 2 Queensbury at-large seats, Republican Ron Montesi and incumbent Matt Sokol held a narrow lead over Democrat David Strainer. And now absentee ballots will decide the final 2 seats. And finally, it was Claudia Bramer taking over for Bud Taylor in Glens Falls' 3rd Ward on the Board of Supervisors. Congratulations to all the winners. Now, as you know, one of the things we focused on throughout election season in Saratoga was the influence of the Saratoga PAC. Now, many candidates held strong opinions, good or bad, about the PAC. But it is interesting to note that the candidates who were endorsed and accepted the PAC endorsement failed to win. Changing from news to weather. Man, it's been a warm start to November. Feels like September, right? Well, just how long will it last? For the latest, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Well, back to the news. It is National Healthy Eating Day. The American Heart Association and Skidmore College students were at Saratoga Springs High School making smoothies for the students. Skidmore professor Dr. Paul Arciero and his students visited classrooms to discuss healthy options for students through school meals. We spoke with Dr. Paul Arciero about the evolution of school lunches.
And they've been interacting and making up some really healthy food that contains primarily fruits and vegetables in a smoothie. So it's a recognition of the importance of starting at an early age, including healthy food and nourishment into young people's lives.
You know, it's unfortunate, but it is a well-known fact that 1/3 of children are overweight or obese, and that New York State alone spends over $11 billion on obesity-related issues. Well, we spoke with American Heart Association Senior Regional Director of Communications, Kathy McCarthy, about what needs to happen in order to change this fact.
Any age children, kids mostly learn from at home. So if parents are eating healthy foods, well-balanced, not a lot of packaged food, then the kids will pick it up from them.
Now, as you know, Dr. Paul Arciero is our health and wellness expert, and he will be on later in this broadcast to talk about this topic. Plus, Saratoga Springs Mayor Joanne Yepsen stopped by to discuss being re-elected to a second term. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, or join us for an interview, give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000.